Om Namo Venkateshaya. Today I am kicking off the series for Saturn transit to Pisces in 2025, which is going to happen between 29 to 30th March of this year. Saturn transits happen once in 2.5 years, so indeed this is going to be a big transit for all of us in order to understand different karmas, different challenges in life, different transformations and experiences that can range between drastic to normal for everybody. I know it has been a delayed time period for me to come up with this series, but unfortunately, I'm still recovering from my health issues and it was difficult for me to come up with this video as well. So, kindly apologies for the same and please show some love and support against the same. So, without any further ado, I want to quickly start off with Saturn transit to Pisces, with, of course, the major sign where it is transiting, Pisces, Moon, and Ascendant. Now, Pisces moon and ascendant, you would be feeling this transit is extremely intense for you, especially if you are both. That means you are a Pisces ascendant as well as a Pisces moon. That means you are undergoing Sade Sati and a Saturn transit to your Lagna at the same time. So it's going to be even more intense for you compared to people who are only either a Pisces ascendant or a Pisces moon. When Saturn enters a dharmic sign, a sign that is more inclined towards being visionary, towards dharma, towards righteousness, towards spirituality, towards higher form of learning, towards moksha also, it is going to clean a lot of karmas for a lot of people. The interesting part about Saturn transits I like to mention is that they start showing their results 6 months prior itself. So many of you would have already noticed multiple red flags in your life that you would have been ignoring when Saturn was about to come into Pisces but was in Aquarius 6 months back. For the major challenges, you can go back to my Saturn retrograde video that I posted in July as well, when Saturn was in Aquarius. And now Saturn is trying to provide you a room to reflect upon those mistakes and correct all those karmas for yourself. And you have two choices, right? One is either you can feel insulted by Saturn, you can bow down to it and you can reform yourself, or you can fight until you suffer and then your inertia and rigidity is broken down and converted into flexibility through drastic experiences of life. Right? So Saturn transits are always intense, especially when it is coming to your own sign. It shows that there is going to be an erosion of a past mindset and a new mindset is going to evolve out of you. So the first thing Saturn loves to attack, whichever sign it transits, is its natural instinct. So when we talk about Pisces in general, we always know such people are always very optimistic. And their optimism is very realistic also compared to Sagittarius, but sometimes very dreamy. Because they have this idea that idealism is very realistic as well at the same time. So many of you Pisces ascendant or moon folks have always felt that ignorance is bliss. If something is not meant for me, I don't need to fight for it. If something is meant for me, it will stay with me forever. And with this mindset, you have always moved forward. With this mindset, you approach your work as well. With this mindset, you approach your life choices as well. With this mindset, you try to give a reassurance to yourself that even if something bad happens with me, I have a coping mechanism around it. And you are a very intuitive person, right? Throughout life, you have always dreamed of something and then you have tried channelizing your efforts into that direction and then you saw it getting manifested. But make a note, since the past 6 months, has this entire motto or has this entire concept which I just described been working out for you? Chances are really not. In fact, you saw that you were betrayed by certain people. You saw reality checks coming to your life where you saw major losses also when Saturn was in Aquarius, in terms of a little bit of a financial fall, in terms of challenges in work if you are into a service sector, in form of reality check about relationships that you were living in denial about. And the more important thing is that since you always feel that you are more wiser than other people, and you had this mindset that if I am taking the higher moral burden, that if I am being good, even if the other person is toxic or being bad to me, the universe will have a way to reward me for my kindness. But unfortunately, you got trauma instead of that being reciprocated in the past 6 months. And therefore, as I mentioned, now when Saturn is coming into your sign, you have already eroded of that mindset. How? For example, if you're being manipulated by someone, if you're being exploited by someone, or someone was being fake in your life and they were just there for your resources, all of those people would have disappeared. Some of those people disappearing would have traumatized you as well. Why? Because you are still in a state of craving familiarity with them. You were having a very strong comfort zone around them, because unfortunately there was an insecurity within you that made you feel that if this person goes away, I either cannot find a suitable replacement, or you just had a normal fear of left out to be on your own or being abandoned by this other person. And therefore, Saturn made sure that this person is gone. And now that this person is gone, you have to feel that insecurity, because it is now resurfacing back into your life, and it is now no longer you are having the luxury to escape out of it. For the past 6 months, you had been escaping out of your responsibilities, not taking accountabilities about the problems and circumstances that are occurring in your life. And unfortunately, as I mentioned in my last Saturn retrograde video also, there will be a timeout which is hit. And now that timeout is hit. Always remember, Saturn usually does not do injustice through the house where it is trying to transit or where it is sitting in your natal birth chart also. And when it is coming to your first house, its intention is to evolve your individuality, to establish a new self-identity. And it cannot do that unless you are confronting your insecurities. So no matter whether you are happy or crying about people exiting out your life, people showing true colors, their true intentions towards you, Saturn does not care. It only cares to make you super insecure so that you can work on your individual self and come out better out of it. The tensions that you were experiencing in the last 6 months, already you could have noticed a change in your sleeping schedule. Some of you noticed very acute back pains as well when Saturn was transiting through Aquarius. And most important characteristic during that time was that you were very inconsistent about your consistency. It is not like you weren't consistent, but your consistency also ironically was coming out of inconsistency. For example, if you joined a gym in the past 6 months, you would have been trying to be regular, but on alternate days, or 2 days at once you are going. And if you were at work, you were trying to finish your work regularly, but on a bi-weekly basis instead of your weekly deadlines. If you were into a relationship, some days were feeling as if you really need a person, and some days you were feeling, I just want to be left out. I'm not being understood by this person, but I just want to remain in denial about the toxicity that other person is projecting towards me. So now all of that time period is now gone. Those people who were red flags, whether you liked it or not, doesn't matter. They had to take an exit out, and now you need to start evolving. That is what exactly Saturn will do, especially if you are a Pisces moon in your peak phase of Sadesati as well. If you are a Pisces ascendant, anyhow, you will feel it's comparatively a little more relaxed, but at the same time, challenges throughout relationships, through your job, insecurities about your future, all of this would have hit you. One very interesting thing about you is that you used to be very super ambitious about a lot of things, and now you are trying to just find out a way to survive. From being a person who had a 5-year plan down the line to becoming a person who is barely able to decide how the next week is going to happen to your life and what drastic experiences are there for you in a month itself, you have came a long way. The interesting part is that the way people are going to react when Saturn comes to Pisces, we are going to see an increase in wiseness. Especially for you folks, this is even more applicable. And when we say wiseness, we say that you are going to try elevate the quality of your life itself. You had also been an advisor throughout your life to other people around you, and you always saw yourself as a very good teacher as well. But now suddenly you are trying to see that there is this imposter syndrome hitting you, that I am not able to sort out my life on my own. Am I really capable enough to give advice to others? And is it working out for them? Or even worse, it worked out for them, but the same advice which you gave them is not working out for you. And this is happening to a lot of people since the past 6 months, and this is really taking or ruining the peace of your mind. The sleep schedules that you were really working upon became very detrimental in ruining your mental health as well, right? Some days you were all day lethargic, and suddenly at 1 a.m. at night you are feeling super energetic. You are trying to envision, what should I do next, where should this energy go? And then suddenly you would delve into motivational content late at night, and then only becoming more lethargic in the morning, and then again this loop is becoming more acute and acute in the past 6 months, and this really gave you a lot of issues. Saturn is going to tell you that, can you always take the higher moral burden? As I mentioned earlier also, being a good person, being a goody two shoes doesn't mean the world will be kind to you. So now your mindset is going to shift. It's going to make you realize that you need to prioritize where you have to be good and where you have to be bad. It is going to tell you or give you that sense of elevated justice, that if somebody is not having my best interests in their mind, I should also not have any best interest of theirs in my mind. It will normalize you becoming slightly selfish, especially about, ironically, your selflessness, where you are letting other people exploit you and you were kind of okay about it. For example, if you had lent money in the past 6 months to somebody, you were not calling them back. You don't have that habit to get it back into their lives and remind them to, give your money back. But now you are going to take accountability of that. You are going to call that friend up and tell, boss, it's been a long time, I have tolerated enough, you need to send my money back right now, immediately, and then I'm not going to talk to you forever now, because you took me for granted. When people will come to you, you will try to evaluate whether the trauma dump that they are trying to give over you is actually genuine or authentic or not. Saturn always tries to evaluate the authenticity of any person crying victim. And based on that evaluation, it will elevate your sense of judgment. Because now, if somebody is coming and crying hoax, you are intuitively going to find out anyway. Earlier, you were okay about helping such people, but now you are in a mood to give it back to them. You are not interested to help out. You are interested to resurface their insecurities on their face and move on with your life. And this sudden change of mindset is actually going to work out in your favor. You will also see that you faced some shortage of income here and there. The expenses were more compared to your actual earnings in the past 6 months, and now suddenly there are opportunities brimming up on your vessel, where you are going to invest, where you are going to earn more, and in case you have a side hustle, it is going to grow even more, especially if you keep it very secretive. You will also think, let me start some business, let me experiment it out. It is going to be very challenging for you. Why? Because at one point you might feel slightly dissatisfied by your job and you are craving growth, because there was a static pause button hit in your life, especially since the last 7 to 8 months. And now suddenly you want to accelerate. You want to betray others for your own interests. You want to get out of the clutches that made you feel is holding you back. And you want to give it all you got and then see what happens. You're not interested or attached with the result out of it. You just want to go ahead and try it out. The interesting part is the Saturn transit is going to bring you a lot of prosperity and growth in terms of work opportunities. The only thing is, Saturn will challenge your lethargy, laziness, and you being a visionary. Why? Because you have this mindset all the time that I will envision something, I will work upon it, and I will use that as a motivation. Saturn doesn't want that. Saturn wants simple, plain consistency for you. It really wants you to just invest your time. For example, if you are applying jobs with the intention or with the idea that I have already got this job and I should dream myself of enjoying in this job that really motivates me to get this job, and you are applying in that mindset, it will not happen. But if you are applying for a job and you are ready to go and hustle, and you are applying for hundreds of jobs, some unexpected opportunity is going to unlock you, and then you are going to feel happy about it at a later point in time. You're going to feel blessed about it, not happy. Keep that in mind. Feeling blessed is very fundamentally different from feeling happy. Feeling blessed means that you are satisfied and you acknowledge that something worked out for you, even though that worked out probably late, but it worked out for the best. It wasn't the best, but it was optimal. From your perspective, it became the best. Saturn will make sure that you get a lot of reward points if you are putting that effort, but it will be very difficult for you to come up in the first place to put you that effort. And it is going to truly turn you into a wise person, which you used to earlier just assume. Wiseness is fundamentally going to be very different from your old persona of wiseness, especially that old soul personality you had that I should be an advisor to others. Now you are going to become a reality checker for others. That if somebody is crying hoax, let me give them a reality check. Saturn will also make sure that you feel insulted by other people's growth around you. It is possible that you are going to see a lot of people moving ahead in life. Some of these comparisons might even make you a lot of jealous. And this is not healthy, but unfortunately this will happen. And you need to take this healthy competition in the right spirit. Because even if things are not working out for you immediately, in the long term, if you are going to put in consistent efforts, it will definitely work out for you. So this is how you need to shift your mindset. You need to focus on what I am supposed to deliver in the next 2 days, in the next week, instead of focusing on what is going to happen at the end of a year or what is my 5-year plan. You need to first of all change that system of thinking, and you need to come out of that zone of overthinking in order to give that proper validation to Saturn that yes, I'm serious. If I envision this business, I am putting 5 days of work apart from my normal service job in order to manifest it. I have no expectations that this business will work out, but I'm still going to do it, and I will do it over a period of 3 months or 4 months continuously without any expectation of any result at all. One hard thing that Saturn is going to hit you when it is coming to Pisces is isolation, because you are going to crave it. Earlier you were very insecure that why am I, not having people around me? Why is my social circle not giving me that sense of belonging that I'm trying to induce into them? But now you will start normalizing that, was I with the right set of people? Weren't they not prioritizing me even though I was prioritizing them? And therefore, when all of this hits you, you would start feeling that, okay, I need to really change myself. I need to sort out my priority first. I need to put a lot of self-love into myself. I will develop a sense of service only towards those who deserve it. And then I will navigate things further. Saturn is also going to give you a lot of communication related challenges when it comes to relationships, when it comes to business partnerships. There will be that feeling that I need to be a one-man army. I will do everything by myself. I want to be the actor, director, producer of the entire movie, which is my life, and nobody else needs to do it. And then you are suddenly going to overload yourself with more responsibility than you can digest, and then later you will regret about it. And once you start regretting about it, as I mentioned, Saturn coming to your sign is going to give you a reality check that why did you commit to something that you cannot do? You should be more realistic about how much you can commit. And therefore, once you change or shape that mindset, you will automatically start sorting out life. And this is not going to happen immediately, trust me. It's going to happen over a period of 1.5 years to 2 years. And slowly you will churn out results from all of this. Saturn is also going to aspect your 10th house when it is transiting through your sign, and therefore you can expect some really good work opportunities. You can really elevate growth, and always remember growth cannot come without trauma because Saturn is a malefic. So there would be time periods where you are going to feel that I'm not being valued. There would be time periods where you're going to feel that my routine is not set. There could be time periods where you have to overcome that imposter syndrome. And then you would have to go towards people who actually value you. So be wary about organizational changes, be wary about how are you going to invest time, because Saturn is Kal on its own, and therefore it will become more and more imperative for you to learn time management in the next 2.5 years. Saturn aspecting the third house, you will not feel like talking to people anymore. You are like, I'm done explaining myself. I don't need to explain that I have sacrificed for you. If you don't see my worth in your life, let's drift away. Let's go apart. Even if you try to reverse this, the universe will show you a way that if something is not meant for you, it is truly not meant for you. And this is painful. It's not supposed to be the happy flow that you used to imagine, that what is meant for me will come to me. Sometimes you have to shape your mindset and you have to put that conviction in your belief system by experiencing pain. And this is exactly how Saturn will teach you around it. The interesting part about it is when you come out of this transit, you will see that your communication skills have evolved so much. The way you approach life, the way you have perceived everything has flipped apart. Just like your sign's representation of two fishes who are changing perspectives continuously. So if you earlier never used to believe in spirituality, let's say, suddenly you will become very spiritual. You're going to get that experience. If you were very spiritual, you will suddenly see that there is a reality check, that we cannot get carried away with optimism around it. If you were spiritual and you used to feel that what is materialism, everything should be detached and one should really become a person who seeks moksha, then a reality check will hit you that you need materialism in order to fulfill responsibilities before you can get to that higher level. And you are not able to account for your current responsibilities alone. How can you even ultimately go towards detachment? So Saturn is going to make sure that you learn the process. You were always goal oriented. Unfortunately for you, goals have manifested, as I mentioned. But this time you will have to focus on the process. You will have to learn that there is a joy in the journey. There is a joy in the road trip when you are riding through the roads and not necessarily where you reach your destination. In fact, you are going to detach yourself from destination more and more as you are moving towards this transit. The more interesting part about it would be that Saturn will also shape out a proper growth in your career through trauma, through pain, through hard work, and through a lot of sweat and blood. So be prepared for that, and it's totally fine. Make sure that you are very busy throughout this transit. Make sure that you are going to feel that I need to take charge, I need to overcome my laziness, I need to put in effort, I need to show it not to others, but to myself that I have improved. Because the moment you start proving to yourself before you are proving to others, you will automatically start seeing the positive side of this transit for you. So all the very best, and hopefully for all the Pisces ascendant and moon, this transit is going to be drastic, but make sure to make good use of it, because Saturn is going to end in a very beautiful manner for you folks, and all the very best.